Okay guys, here we are, back in our yard. WRX is about to go under the knife for the 15th umptillionth time. But it's the name of the game, right? So, as stated before, we have a couple things to fix. We need to shorten up this belt. We need to go through the motor, so all of it's got to come out anyway, and find out what that noise I was hearing was. We're going to do a diagnostic on everything, just in case. You know, I don't see any harm in checking the bearings and making sure that everything's copacetic. I have a feeling that the number 7 rod is the issue here, based off of something that I noted earlier, but it didn't really seem like it was an issue. But we're going to get in there, and if I have to, we'll just swap the rod out and slap it back together and get back to business. Getting better about getting her on the pad, which is cool. But I think I want to put in a couple of winches just to aid us in the finagling here, because I highly doubt that that car is going to be getting finished anytime soon. And when that car is gone, I'll have one of my other cars, like the Z or that Subi over there. Don't mind the mess. Will be in that slot as well. So I kind of want to have a winch anchored to the floor right there in between the pillars to pull her up, and then one over here against the wall to kind of hop back and forth between angling the car and pulling her into the spot. Probably going to be looking into some kind of a lift to kind of make my job easier here. It would just make everything so much better to be able to get it off the ground. I don't know if I want to do a half post or just the rail guided one or whatever. The half post would be dope, but I don't know if this pad that we laid can take that kind of load. And rather than waste a bunch of money, I'd rather get something where the load is distributed across the whole of the frame, and I know it's not going to be a problem, period. So we're going to deal with that. What else do we have an issue? Oh, we're going to try and get some sprayers installed for the rear tires and for the rear rad. And what else? Oh, we're going to do some frame reinforcing. So I'm going to get in here because throughout the entirety of the event, I was hearing a pop and a bang from this location here. And so I want to get in here and add some additional supports to this subframe that will take the load off of this long rod that goes underneath here. I know guys don't particularly know what I'm talking about, but there's a long rod on the subframe that holds that lower control arm. So I want to reinforce that, create another arm that kind of comes up to this frame from the underside, and then we can bolt to that. So it's not going to be like an extensive job, but I'm thinking maybe at least half a day to get that done. And then also we need to figure out what's going on with our brakes. We have a leak somewhere. You can kind of see through the window there that middle tank there is at half, and that's just from sitting. So there's some kind of a leak that is, severe enough that it's allowing it to gravity drain out. We need to figure that out. As I stated before, I'm not seeing any fluid inside the cab, so it's not in there. It's something else. So we're gonna have to trace that down. It's more than likely means me getting my buddy out here to like mash the pedal a little bit while I go hunting, which should be significantly easier once we get this engine out of here and I can see everything. But aside from that, I mean, everything went really, really well. Mental note to mark the oil lines for out and return. We'll probably just do like a blue to blue and then a red to red, like some kind of a paint mark system, so I know where these lines go, because if you get them in reverse, you'll have no oil pressure. The valve and the oil filter blocks it out, and which is obviously a no-go. How do I know that? Because I've done it. So yeah, a few minor issues to fix. One big one with the motor. The motor as a whole seems to be fine, but we're gonna figure out what's starting that racket, and get that taken care of before we have an actual problem that requires, a full rebuild and we break stuff. But all in all, the girl performed incredibly at this last event, and I'm gonna try and make this a quick turnaround. I don't want any more several months of downtime. We're gonna try and get this a quick turnaround so we can get back out there and have some more fun with everybody before the season is over. We got a 6.0 in the garage that we can back up to and swap out if we have to, so we're not totally SOL here. And while she's out, we're probably going to make a couple more modifications and adjustments. I've been wanting to get some dry brake fittings for like the brake fluid, oil, fuel, all that junk, to kind of assist with when I have to do this kind of stuff, being able to get this out without making it just a massive mess everywhere every single time from leaking lines and whatever else. So, you can just pop off the lines, pull the motor out, and do what I got to do, which would be a huge help. Oh, and we need to look heavily into a surge tank for the fuel system. Fuel cut was a major issue for us. I had to keep the tank at like something above like 60 to 70% at all times, or the slosh would get me, and we'd have like a moment of bog after like 2.5, 3 turns. So we're gonna go ahead and do a little bit of a surge tank. It's gonna be a cheap deal. We don't need no wild thing that's got like multiple pumps and all these backups and nonsense, because we're not putting out 1,000 horsepower. We're gonna keep it simple, kind of semi-budget, like we've done with a lot of other things in here. Once we figured out what the hell we were doing and stopped trying to be while we're in there, let's buy this extra crap we don't need guy, right? So anywho, we will check back in later once we've gotten disassembly and gotten things out of the way and I have some results to show you. But for now, that's going to be it. Probably will check back in with you guys in a week's time. Deuces.